To kick this off, here is a clip of Barbie Ferreira I saw online that honestly made me mad. Here she is, looking beautiful, looking confident. Top comment: Ozempic queen. Ozempic allegations are the new way to cut someone down for their body without actually saying anything mean. Here is Barbie Ferreira just a few years ago. Here's Barbie Ferreira then, and here's Barbie Ferreira now. Insane transformation. She clearly wanted to make a change. She's been very vocal about wanting to make a change, but she hasn't come out and said anything about how she did it. Maybe she is on a GLP-1, maybe she isn't. But dropping that little Ozempic queen comment is just the new way for no one to be able to win. This is how it goes. People are fat, rude commentary. People are thin, rude commentary. People go through a weight loss transformation. You decided to change your life. Ozempic queen. Even Tammy Slaton's 500-pound weight loss transformation was cut down with Ozempic allegations. It's a way of saying you cheated. It's a way of saying it doesn't count. It's a way to take away from someone's beauty or how good they look in the moment. It's a way of saying, I think you're too skinny now. It's a way of saying you were really fat before and now you're less fat. It is the brand new way to snark on people's bodies. And in the case of someone who, like Barbie, has been extremely overweight, even obese, there are even more layers of negative connotation to the term. So today we're discussing Ozempic or not culture, including several examples from both influencers and celebrities. Now, this whole video was originally inspired by this little article titled "The Cost of GLP-1 Honesty." But then it just got me thinking about the whole Ozempic rumor mill in general. We seriously have this Ozempic or not culture right now that came out of nowhere and just continues to grow and grow and grow. But before we get into it, a message from today's sponsor, Incogni. Most of my life, I've been the I've got nothing to hide, who cares kind of person when it comes to privacy. But now more than ever, it's important to protect yourself because your personal data might be exposed online without you even realizing it. And not just on data broker databases, I mean everywhere. These creepy people search sites, business directories, old accounts you forgot existed, even sites you've never heard of. And once it's out there, anyone, literally anyone, can look you up. Marketers, scammers, landlords, employers. And in the wrong hands, your leaked info can turn into fraud, identity theft, doxing, and even stalking. But the good news is you can take back your personal data with Incogni. Incogni's automated removal contacts hundreds of data brokers on your behalf and gets your info deleted from their databases. These are companies that buy and sell your data without your permission, leaving you open to real privacy risks. It's easy to get started. Just give the minimum info needed to locate your data online, authorize them, and that's it. Their automated removals will get to work. And their new feature, custom removals, is huge. People search sites are becoming a big problem. These are sites that list your personal info online without your consent. But now you can do something about it. If you find a website with your info on it, you just paste a link to Incogni and their privacy experts will take it down for you. The ways your leaked data can be used against you are honestly pretty scary. In a road rage scenario, someone pulled up a person's address via license plate lookup sites. And in another example, someone's kids appeared on data broker sites as her associates. It's crazy that something as simple as your license plate or your name can put you at risk of doxing or stalking. So if your information is out there, use Incogni to make it disappear. Take your personal data back with Incogni. Use code Docherty at the link below and get 60% off an annual plan. Thanks again to Incogni for sponsoring today's video. So let's kick this off with the whole influencer side of things, because when I was looking up this topic, is she or is she not on Ozempic culture, came up more in regards to snarking on influencers than anyone else. Why? Because they're taking it. This demographic is heavy into the GLP-1 use, as some of them have admitted.
Is it societally acceptable for me as an influencer yet to say that I'm on Manjaro? Like, it's this weird taboo thing still. I go into my Manjaro office every week in Beverly Hills, and every single week I see a celebrity or influencer that you know and love, I know and love, in the office. And if I ever post a story in the doctor's office, everyone's like replying to my story like, oh my God, you go there, I go there too, right? And it's like everyone is on it. And again, I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble, but like everyone is on it. Everyone you love. If I'm in trouble, so is everyone ever. I'm taking everyone down with me.
So yeah, influencers are in fact Ozempicing. There is definitely reason for the is she or is she not on Ozempic culture. So I'm not saying that GLP-1 gossip isn't warranted at times. I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense. I'm not even really saying it's wrong. I'm just saying we are in a new era. And this era has some very interesting subtext that we should unpack. The first part of this new culture is that skinny is back in a big way. GLP-1s have already changed the beauty standard in just a few short years' time. We had 90s toxic skinny, we had 2000s toxic skinny, we had the brief blip of body positivity in the 2010s, and 2020 we're right back to Ozempic skinny. Body positive models can't find work. The word diet is no longer a bad word. Skinny jeans are even back. And culturally, now people openly really want to lose weight again. Whereas previously, I think for a while there, we were saying more like we wanted to be healthier, we wanted wellness. A lot of people are more now interested in purely cosmetic weight loss than it had been for the last 10 years. And within this, now every influencer or celebrity body change turns into an Ozempic discussion. Any body change is now immediately called out and stamped with Ozempic or not. I talked about this in this video, but Ozempic or not culture has really brought back this thing that we did a lot in the 2000s, zooming in on hyper-specific body parts and then examining them under the guise of, oh, is this a symptom or is it not a symptom of Ozempic or GLP-1? And I did another whole video where I talked about how tabloids literally took this picture of Sharon Osbourne, zoomed in on her foot, and then analyzed whether or not her foot was a, quote, stomach churning side effect of Ozempic, when in reality, that was just a picture of her foot. Just a normal foot of a 70-year-old lady. But yeah, that's kind of what we're up to right now. If you were too young in the 2000s to know what that world was like, it was pretty wild. One of the articles I read while making this video talked about this sort of Goldilocks weight, where if women in the public eye were this particular weight, this like very sliver, this very specific weight, then they could avoid any sort of discussion or criticism. But if they went beyond that, if they were too thin or they were too fat or they were too thick, then negative commentary would ensue. Although most of the negative commentary back then was not by social media, but by proper media. Instead of us societally being like, is she too fat or is she too thin? Our old favorite game, we are now just saying, is she or is she not on Ozempic? Or more appropriately, is she or is she not on a GLP-1? It happens on tabloids, it happens on Instagram and TikTok. And when I was researching this video, this came up more than anywhere else online on an influencer snark subreddit called NYC Influencer Snark. This is Serena Kerrigan. She probably came up the most as an example of this Ozempic snarking culture, so much so that she was even named in an Economist article talking about her weight loss and potential Ozempic use. Let's take a look at what this culture looks like in action. Serena Kerrigan, Ozempic? I know it's tired to accuse every influencer of being on it, but what do we think? We know she's gotten lipo in the past. Just look at her belly button. It's not up for debate. Loves cool sculpting and lymphatic drainage, and appears to have gotten chin lipo recently. So I wouldn't put it past the queen of confidence, oh, the fucking irony and gall of this fraud, to throw money at another weight loss solution. She's definitely looking thinner than usual lately. Even a TikTok commenter said Ozempic slay on one of her vids, and she left up the comment. So that post is actually 3 years old, and it's interesting to me that it actually already says, I know it's tired of accusing every influencer of being on it. But yeah, this influencer Serena had like 1 million posts on NYC Influencer Snark speculating whether or not she was on a GLP-1. And I don't know if I should be having like a moral quandary about this, but I kind of feel rude reading this out. I don't know. It feels weird when it's like an influencer and not a celebrity, even though they're kind of similar. I don't know. It just feels rude. Shrinking Serena. She is officially too thin. It doesn't even look good in my opinion. Yes, her body wasn't made to be this thin. Everyone has different natural weights where they look best. This is definitely not her best. Honey needs to relax with the Ozempic and eat a burger. She's gonna have the worst Ozempic comeback and gain all the weight. Sadly, body confidence. It's always the body positive influencers who are secretly gargling Ozempic. Another post called Serena a peak Ozempic girly. One poster joked that Serena might be the reason for the Ozempic shortage. And people picked apart different parts of her face and her body, trying to discern whether or not they were really features of Ozempic use. Why does she always look dehydrated? Is this common with Ozempic/Mounjaro? Dehydration is a big concern with GLP-1s actually. You're supposed to drink a lot of water on them. Now, after all that speculation, months later, Serena would post the following TikTok video that ended up adding a little bit more fuel to the fire. Keep an eye out. See, right there. According to commenters, this is a Mounjaro quick pen, meaning it is a GLP-1. Not that any proof was needed, but she isn't even bothering to hide her Ozempic use now. So Serena accidentally, or not so accidentally, posted this video of her with the pen in the background. And then eventually posted a short video admitting that, yep, she was in fact taking it and that was what you thought it was. Now this is obviously a snark sub. Everything can and will be snarked on in a snark sub. But we're talking about it because it's a broader trend. In a short period of time, we went from sort of body positivity style, don't talk about people's bodies, to every and any body part can and will be dissected under the guise of Ozempic or not. And in the celebrity world, this is a huge thing too. Read this article. Serena Williams, Rebel Wilson, Lizzo, and the cost of Ozempic honesty. Now, when I heard this title, I was like, interesting. I'm curious, what is the cost of Ozempic honesty? But then I read the article and it was a little bit, you'll see. It's so rich. Once upon a time, a famous person might lose weight with alarming speed and say with a straight face that she'd done it by eating a balanced diet of smaller portions. Though we regular folks wanted that to be true, it gave us hope we could follow their simple steps and shrink ourselves. There was always a sense that they were gatekeeping other keys to success, like the employment of private chefs, extravagant home gyms, and maybe even the sorts of drugs only the rich and privileged had access to. I think we always knew that celebrities were doing the most to lose weight. One week it was the master cleanse where you're supposed to drink like cayenne pepper, maple syrup, and I think lemon juice. Beyonce was known for that one. The next week it was the baby food diet. Jennifer Aniston was a fan. I read Jessica Simpson's autobiography once, and apparently celebrities have these wellness doctors whose whole business is prescribing them stuff to make them skinnier and prettier and younger looking. And she was like prescribed some stuff for like 20 years. So there have always been celebrity diet tricks, but all of that kind of fad diet culture has really died off now. And we no longer really wonder what people are doing. We know what people are doing. In the celebrity world anyway, all the discussion is about Ozempic. So it's been a breath of fresh air to hear stars cop to using semaglutides, aka GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. But that openness has its downsides too. When Serena Williams announced in August that she used Zepbound and was now a celebrity patient ambassador for telehealth company Ro, which sells GLP-1s, backlash was swift, with detractors accusing Williams of everything from setting a poor example about body image to medical irresponsibility. A few weeks later, Williams, one of the greatest athletes in history, posted on Instagram about what a trying month she'd had, saying she was now prioritizing her mental health. It was impossible not to put the pieces together. Her honesty about using and now selling weight loss drugs had not gone over as expected. Okay, there is a lot to unpack here, because there was a lot more going on with Serena Williams' situation than her just admitting that she took a GLP-1. Serena Williams didn't just say, I'm taking a GLP-1, she came out with this. Serena's on Ro, are you next? And she's literally injecting the medication into her arm. I remember seeing this image and I was like, damn, that is bold. She's really got that needle just right there, huh? I mean, I was definitely paying attention, but when you come out swinging like that, you gotta expect there's gonna be some backlash. Not to mention her man was on the board of directors. So Serena was getting paid multiple ways off that sponsorship. She's this very trusted, loved celebrity using her position to sell pharmaceutical to her audience. I mean, of course, there's going to be backlash about a situation like that. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But you know what's crazy? When I looked into this, more than anything, people actually seem to be more mad that she just lost weight. She posted this picture of her with visible abs before ever admitting to the GLP-1 and received comments like this. Hell nah, we like the thick Serena. Serena, look at the camera. You do not look like yourself in any of these pictures. Your face will tell it all. Doesn't look healthy at all. What's wrong with the natural curves? Just a person showing off a body transformation she's proud of, and people are in the comments saying, no, that's not how I like your body to be. I have a preference for your body and that's not it. Serena had gained weight from multiple pregnancies. She'd been vocal about her struggle to lose the weight, particularly for her tennis game. Her coach really wanted her to lose weight due to like the physics of tennis or something. And she personally just wanted to lose a few pounds, but people were mad about this. Here is a Reddit post about the situation. Devastated to see Serena Williams advertising for GLP-1. If even a super athlete can't have the correct body, where's the hope for the rest of us? So at first glance, it kind of seems like the poster is mad about the advertisement, which to me makes a lot of sense. But if you actually read it, That's not the case. That's not what they're mad about. One of my favorite examples of what a strong, healthy female body looks like is giving the example of Serena Williams and her unbelievable career of being best in the world at tennis. Using her body as an example of we not knowing exactly what the female body is capable of when given the chance to push strength and endurance to its max versus the focus on skinny puke face in which so much of our culture is obsessed. So now seeing her on these GLP-1 weight loss drug commercials feels like a slap in the face. It feels like she is saying that something was wrong with her body before when she was the best in the world. But now this drug will correct her body. And like all messages and commercials, getting this thing and losing weight has somehow made her value to society increase. If Serena truly believes something was wrong with her body, where's the hope for the rest of us? All I can think when I read this is that is such a high standard to hold someone else's body to. Serena wasn't saying that something was wrong with her body before. People don't have to hate themselves to want to lose weight. It's crazy to me when people take it so personally when other people lose weight. If someone's body changes feel harmful to you, that is work for you, not work for them. It's really just a signal that you need to explore those feelings in yourself and come to peace with whatever you need to come to peace with. I just feel like in our culture now, you're really damned if you do, damned if you don't. Gain weight, lose weight, plus size, average, too thin, there is really no way to be the right way in your body. In this type of commentary, it's just another layer of pressure. I feel like this type of commentary always thinks that it's being like radical or something, but you're just adding more pressure to the scenario. It's just another layer of no one can ever win or do the right thing within their own bodies. Others have been here before. Stars like Rebel Wilson and Lizzo, who for so long were a North Star for fat fans more interested in changing society than their bodies. When both admitted to Ozempic, Wilson is now Noom's chief wellness ambassador, touting the brand's microdose GLP-1 product. Many took it as a betrayal. Here were two women who had previously given the middle finger to diet culture and said, "Take me as I am," or GTFO. Now instead using those fingers to press down on an injector pen, and in some cases, encouraging us to follow. Okay, let's break down these one by one because again, very different scenarios. That again, actually really have absolutely nothing to do with the GLP-1s. So I maybe feel like this lady just shouldn't have written this article because it actually doesn't even make any sense. First, Rebel Wilson. I actually didn't see anyone attacking Rebel Wilson for taking a GLP-1 anywhere. As far as I know, she also lost most of, if not all of her weight through diet and exercise. But as the article said, she at some point started working with Noom to advertise like microdosing GLP-1s as a means of, I think, weight maintenance. But nowhere could I find anyone talking about this. Not on Reddit, not on TikTok. Literally no one cared. So I guess there was no cost of GLP-1 honesty for Rebel. However, Rebel was also attacked for losing weight. First of all, her agent was like, look, if you lose weight, then how are you going to be Fat Amy? And she was like, yeah, but I want to lose weight for my health. And her agent was like, okay, yeah, but then how are you going to be Fat Amy? Then some of her fans felt betrayed that she lost weight. Also, I found tons of posts of people saying things like this. Unpopular opinion, Rebel Wilson is ugly now that she's skinny. Yeah, she's healthy, and I assume she's still funny. I haven't seen anything of hers recently, but when I see pics of her, now all I see is generic blonde actress. Losing weight is great if you can, but yeah, that's my unpopular opinion for today. People kill me who like go out of their way or like take time out of their day to write that. This is a thought that you had and then you're like, let me go and make a Reddit post. Like, I don't know. I think it's her mouth. It's so huge on her skinny virgin head. Yes. Now that you mention it, I can't unsee it. Skinny, you mean thinner than before? Fuck off. She is definitely not skinny. Maybe normal size now. And I think she looked better before. Now she looks unhealthy and way older than her actual years. Good other people think she's funny. I never did. God, people are so bratty, bro. It's a shame that she thought that becoming skinny was the only way she could love herself. Sends the wrong messages to young girls who hate themselves because of their weight. According to her, you can only be your best self when you're skinny. Okay. She looked better before the weight loss. Her forehead looks borderline. I'm not gonna say that out loud. Nope. And her mouth looks oversized for her head. Also, if I were her, I would invest in a large supply of Rogaine. Her hairline is receding terribly. See, it's always people like this who try to shame other people for being terrible people, or in this case, just losing weight. That was the crime here that warranted all of that. I think every other person who's ever made any video about anything online, you get a lot of comments about literally anything that say, shame on you. You should be ashamed of yourself for who you are and whatever you just said. It's just funny that people can write these and feel justified in it while not having any level of self-awareness at all, while not seeing the irony in the insane post that they just wrote. All mean, no self-awareness, just living life like that. Okay. Anyway, my point with all this was it looks like it was a no-win situation for Rebel too. Damned if she did, damned if she didn't. Next up, Lizzo. Now, Lizzo's case is a much, much different scenario. Lizzo did make a lot of her brand being overweight. She was often called the queen of body positivity. Her Instagram account is Lizzo Be Eating. And she was so synonymous with body positivity, the movement, that in 2024, South Park came out with an episode titled The End of Obesity, where Ozempic becomes extremely popular in their town, but there's like a shortage. So you can only get it if you're, I think, super rich or have diabetes, or you turn into a crop top wearing mom gang that like robs pharmacies at gunpoint for Ozempic. But if you're one of the many people who can't get Ozempic in this little town, you can always get a prescription for what the show calls Lizzo.
Studies, 70% of patients on Lizzo no longer cared how much they weighed.
I don't give two shits.
Lizzo helps you eat everything you want and keep physical activity to a minimum.
A drug that helps you stop caring about your weight rather than losing weight. So yeah, when Lizzo popped up on Instagram with the juice cleanse.
So I drank a lot and I ate a lot of foods and fucked my stomach up in Mexico. So I decided to do JJ Smith's 10-day smoothie cleanse.
People were quick to be like, huh? Are you trying to lose weight? You said you were body positive. Why would you do that? But at that time, she was just doing a little health thing. A little while later though, she started to actually lose weight. She dropped a ton of weight in like a year and people had a lot to say about it. But again, unlike what the title of this article said, most of the conversation was not about GLP-1s at all. It was more people really angry that Lizzo had lost weight. Look at this headline. Truth hurts. Sellout Lizzo slammed for dramatic weight loss and the ultimate betrayal will have consequences, insiders say. Not a threat because someone lost weight. I can't believe we had for so long. Body positivity, it's kind of sad because now that we've returned to this sort of skinny culture, it's like, you know, body positivity did have some positive things, but you guys just took it way too far. Way too far. You can't be like freaking out, threatening people and calling it the ultimate betrayal when someone loses weight for their health. Why for a moment couldn't we have just found a little healthy medium between the two poles? Because if you recall, for a while there in the realm of body positivity, if anyone lost weight, okay, anyone at all, you were called fat phobic, even if you were plus size or obese and you intentionally lost weight for your health. Even if someone told you, a doctor told you, hey, you gotta lose weight for your health, you would be publicly shamed. And you know, I don't think Lizzo was like selling out or like lying either when she said she was confident in her own body before she lost weight. She's clearly a very confident woman. You can be confident and think that you're beautiful as you are and still want to lose weight for your health. That's not that crazy. We don't need to be so black and white. That's not how the world works. But anyway, there was definitely commentary this time about Lizzo taking a GLP-1. As soon as Lizzo started losing weight, she was being accused of taking Ozempic. On Trisha Paytas' podcast, Lizzo admitted to trying a GLP-1, while also talking about all the changes she's making in her life. She talks about having back pain after each show, and she knew that wasn't sustainable.
Yes, of course, being bigger, you know, it's just like, you know, obviously it would feel better to be more comfortable and I could just like, you know, slide things. I don't know.
Man, my body was hurting. Like,
yeah.
My back was in such a bad place where I couldn't stand for more than like 15 minutes at a time. I had to sit down and do like figure fours and stretch my back out during dance rehearsal for tour. And I was like, in between like songs and stuff, when I would go back to the quick change, I would have to sit and like and stretch my back out. And then immediately after the shows, I would have to cold plunge because my back was just radiating so much pain. And it was from the discs being compressed in my back. And the only way to really do that, to alleviate that, is surgery or releasing a little bit of weight. So I was like, I want to be Tina Turner. I want to be doing stadium shows when I'm 70.
Yeah.
If my back is on this track right now, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that.
She talks about giving up fast food. She talks about beginning to eat whole foods. She's clearly going through a personal transformation. And I think good for her. Who gives a shit if she tried a GLP-1 one time? So she tried it, but she says she's not doing it anymore. She's just doing her own thing. She's on like a whole journey. But here's the thing about Ozempic allegations when they're directed at someone who is overweight or obese. They mean something different. When people are going and writing the Ozempic is Ozempicing all over Lizzo's stuff, the subtext is really, I know you're still lazy. I know you're taking the easy way out. I know you couldn't do this by yourself. It's a kind of way of being like, what I'm seeing isn't real. It's not valid. It's a way to continue to cut someone down in a moment where historically, culturally, we would usually praise someone. And I feel like that is total bullshit. She's exercising. She's clearly changed her diet and she's proud of the changes that she's making. She's not bragging about, oh, I eat pizza and take Ozempic, look at me. But yeah, snarky people have just found this new way of cutting someone down for their weight at any size. Equal opportunity snarking now. So yeah, again, it's a situation where this whole Ozempic or not thing has made anything you can possibly do with your body the wrong snarkable thing. You used to be safe if you lost a bunch of weight and got skinny. Now, even those people can't win. And even though I don't agree with the snarking on the influencers who are already at like a healthy body weight to get thinner, I do understand why that's there. I understand like the subtext. Like, not Tammy Slayton's weight loss not even being safe from this type of commentary. Not people saying that Tammy Slayton cheated. I think people were mostly saying that Tammy Slayton cheated because she was on TV, because she had a bariatric surgeon and potentially was on Ozempic. Like there were multiple layers to Tammy's cheating her weight loss journey. Dude, if you are snarking on a woman who lost 500 pounds, if you are snarking on that weight loss journey, please figure your life out. For real. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this whole thing because I keep seeing it everywhere and I'm so intrigued by the topic. I think this Ozempic snarking thing is just so bitchy. It reminds me of like Perez Hilton era, like 2000s tabloids snarking in its own new version. It's brought back a whole culture where we're now dissecting and picking apart people down to the curve, down to the hydration levels in their face. But anyway, back to this article because all of a sudden it takes this completely random nosedive over to Virgie Tovar. Just out of nowhere. The people suffering the most from the normalization of weight loss drug use are people in fat bodies who don't want to lose weight and already face medical indifference and legalized bigotry. Title VII, the federal law that prohibits employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin, does not protect against size discrimination. I feel like we've really just gone on a completely different direction with this article now. It's just like out of nowhere. Cultural critic Virgie Tovar, an ambassador for Weight Stigma Awareness Week, shared on Instagram her experience of fat shaming at New York Fashion Week 2025, something she says had not happened before. There are real-life, real-world human impacts for cultural shifts around the pro-weight loss culture that we're in right now because of GLP-1s and the way they're being marketed, she noted.
Does anybody disagree that if we can stop childhood obesity from a health standpoint, that we should? Does anybody disagree with that? Do you disagree with that?
I just think that it's a very big phrase, right? Like at the end of the day, right?
Anyway, on that note, I will leave you guys here and I will see you in the next one.